listening to People Think About It. Delve into the world of relationships, business, and politics with hosts Lamar Clark, Dorshell Clark, and Dominique Hagler on People Think About It, where thought-provoking discussions abound.
Welcome to People Think About It. We're here at People Think About It today. We're going to have a hot subject today here. We're going to talk about, can you have an open relationship? Will it make it stronger or will it destroy it? So we're going to talk about this open relationship from a whole different standpoint, from probably several different standpoints, because I don't want you guys to think it's just from a sexual standpoint of communicate. So we're going to talk about it from all fashions, because that you can have an open relationship about communication and the person that you with can't handle the way you communicate. Mm-hmm. Or you can have a sexual relationship and the other person can't handle, or they can handle, or yours. So we're going to talk about this thing from different perspectives today. And we want to welcome our guest, Brandon, in the house.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
We got Brother Mustafa and the one only, the co-host, Dominique.
Hey, y'all.
So let's start this conversation off with you, Dominique. So we want to know, can you? Do you think open relationship can make your relationship stronger, or can make it self-destructing?
Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying I think open relationships are cop-outs. That's how I feel. So yeah, that's first things first. I think it really depends on the people in the relationship. Like, personally, I wouldn't want to maintain a whole bunch of people in a relationship. So for me personally, I feel like it's just going to open unnecessary doors, create unnecessary problems. I don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like it's definitely going to destroy it, in my opinion. Because I feel like you can't be in love with multiple people. I feel like you can love multiple people, but being in love and then maintaining those people and their feelings and their emotions, that's a lot.
So you use the word cop-out. Break that down a little bit for me when you say having multiple relationships is a cop-out. Break that down a little bit for me.
I mean, I am really big on monogamy. However, I understand out of all the billions of people on the planet, you're not going to be the only one that your person is attracted to or find connections with. And I get that, respectfully. However, though, I feel like when you decide to have an open relationship, I just feel like you're copping out of the place of just like being committed fully to someone. Because now you have this person over here and they may have a person too. And I mean, I understand it's not one person for everything in your life, but I feel like that's why you have friends.
Right. Trying to love two ain't easy to do.
Yeah. I just don't see that being a good thing.
Right. So let's get your feedback, Brandon, on this relationship matter here. Give us a little bit about what you think.
So, what I think is with polygamy, you got to be a special type of dude to do that.
Right.
Because maintaining a relationship with just one girl, as we can see in society, is already hard in itself, right? So you want to make sure, I know for me, I want to make sure that my person is felt, like she feel the love that I present to her, she feel the thought and the time and the effort that I take into doing the things that she would like for me to do, and the things that I would just want to do just because. So when you talking about multiple women, even just two women, like that's a lot.
Yeah,
like,
it is a lot of work.
So, yeah, for sure. I think that for me, monogamy is definitely greater than polygamy.
Well, okay. Then we're gonna step over here to Brother Mustafa. If we get around this round table, then we're gonna have a real discussion. So, Brother Mustafa, give us a little brief intake about what you think about this sharing relationship. And how you feel about it. Give us a little shorty, and then we're gonna start a group conversation about it.
Well, I mean, I'm a grown man in my prime. Number one, right, and then what the Most High has given me is strength and virility, mentality. I don't care what culture or age space I'm in, right? Because I could be like DMX, Keisha, Nirvana, Dominique, Lavana, Dorshell, I mean, whoever, right? When DMX did that, I was like, he got too much time and too much money on his hands in a society that promotes that, right? Women wanted equality, but they didn't get equity, right? So just like in Atlanta, I'm about quality. I mean, quality has gone so far down, quantity has gone up. And dating is like a competitive sport. I mean, you gotta have the money to do that. You're like, man, let me hold your car, let me do this, let me do that, right? And the reason why the creators stopped at 4 was because you don't have the ability to deal with all of these different personalities and still do the magic P word. I don't care what people say in 2024, women still want you to protect and provide for them, right? Which is near to impossible, especially coming from a culture where we had to work together to maintain the thing that took away from us, which is family, right? And yes, a man can take care of more than one woman. He can love more than one, but the affection that he has for this one is not the affection that he has for the other one. And what is getting left on the table is the fact that, we talk about high value male or men with money, whatever. So women who are single that have children are getting left on the table, or older women and women who are widowed, or things are just out of their control. So right. Where's the family union at? Because the way I look at myself as a shogun.
Okay, so let's throw this question out there. In essence of what you said, do you think that when it comes to establishing a relationship, that is more on the man than the woman? When we talk about sharing and multiple women, or women having multiple men, because in society today we got women that got multiple men. They got a man to pay the bills. They got a man to party with.
The car.
They got a man that bring the food. And the biggest one, you got a man that's a sucker. You know what I mean? Right. So I mean, they got women out here that run. But who do you think that responsibility falls on? Of relationships and understanding and all that, who would you put the bulk of that on?
I honestly think a big part of it is the entertainment, right? Like movies, music, TikTok reels. Like I think that influences us, and so you could be in a space where like you are not depressed. I hate to say depressed, but like you just not feeling
got an anxiety or something
right,
like that.
And you might be looking for a relationship, but you can't find one. But you looking at your timeline, and it's this, and so you feeling like, oh, okay, well, this might be the way I need to move, and so people just go off for that versus just getting themselves together. Because honestly, right now, man, it's like he said, man, it's a competitive sport. Like, because I think we was having a conversation. I was like, the average date, right, first date in Atlanta is like $150.
I think it's more than that.
No, like, but that's basic though, right? Yeah. Because if we go out,
that's like, don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory,
right? Like,
well, no, I mean, you can go to Dave and Buster's and spend $150. Right. So yeah, dates are way expensive.
No, Cheesecake Factory is definitely $150 because you figure, so if we go out to eat, she gonna get a plate, I get a plate. That's 30.
She get a drink, you get a drink.
Right.
I'm gonna probably want 2 drinks. She probably get a drink and another drink. If we do dessert, if we smoke, like. All these things add up. Parking,
gas,
right?
Gas.
Parking,
like back in the days, you used to see a lot of people. Right. You used to see a lot of people back in the days, especially guys in their cars, say gas, ass, or grass. You got to give up one of them. You know what I mean? No. It was gas, ass, or
what
grass.
What happened to just courting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because women took. I feel like with the court, I feel like women have taken that to. I feel like women have taken it to where it's a sport for them too.
Yeah,
The
sport is to run your pockets and then go to the next dude, right? And then have sex with him after she got the Birkin bag and this and the third, right? Because he got, he broke, busted, and disgusted with a 480 credit score, but he Mr. Long in the bed sheets, right? So it's like, wait a minute, they got a roster too. They got a point guard. They got Kevin Garnett. They got Allen Iverson. They got Kobe. They got Shaq. No.
Right.
Wrong sport, sis.
Right.
Wrong one.
But I feel like a lot of women still believe in monogamy. Granted,
no,
they be
sure.
having all the dudes. But I don't know. Let me speak for myself. In my singleness, yeah, I probably do have one doing this and this and that. And all of that is great. But I have also notated that none of these will be my one. I know that. They're just here They're just here.
So they're here for a good time, not a long time.
Not a long time.
Okay,
Just a good
I'll
time.
stop there right there. When's the last time you seen an NFL female head coach?
Oh, well, they got
When's the last time you seen a
assistant
female
coach.
No, women can't not run a squad like that.
They got assistant coaches in the NFL. And
I'm using that. I'm using it as a metaphor.
I'm using it as a metaphor.
Women
they
can't,
do, but they do have it. Mm-hmm. So you can't say they can't do it because they have it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, assistant head coaches though.
Assistant,
yeah. Well, if you're the head coach and you get kicked out, so if you into these multiple relationships and you're the head coach, right?
And you ain't winning,
and you get kicked out, the assistant coach can come in and take over. Right? No, and then they running the show. There you go. They run the show. Yep. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
In having these open relationships, out of these, I wrote down a couple of them. Being open, sharing, communication, and sexual. Out of that, which one in having multiple relationships do you think you can have some substance to it?
Okay, so I go first.
Hello, when you say substance, like
I think
they
that
get your time, they get your money, your effort,
energy.
Everything.
Like some people aren't good. I mean, like an open relationship. I'll give you an example. You can have one person, and I mean open. That's about a multitude of things. Right. So you can have, but you're the kind of person that speaks your mind. You say what's on your mind and stuff. But your mate can't handle it. But then your mate may say, let me know what's going on in your mind. Okay. But then you get to a point you start shutting down because it causes conflict or there's a misunderstanding about what you said. Mm. So, when you communicate, it takes two people to communicate. So if you have an openness, both people got to have an openness.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I know people that, they can tell their mate, look, man, I messed up. I screwed around. I messed around with another woman. You know what I mean?
First mistake.
And wait a minute. But that's the open relationship they have. But they communicate through it and work through that thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't.
So some people can do it. Some people can't.
I've seen it.
That's just like you said about polygamy. Some people, I know I ain't with it.
I can't do it.
You know what I mean? Sharing. I'm going to take me and your wife and me and my wife, we're going to meet at your crib and we're going to do the flip-flop.
That's different. That's a different pop. Like, so, go ahead, because you wanted to say something earlier.
Well, I was saying that when especially as I became more of an adult male in Islam, I got approached with that. It got to be controversial because it's like they're asking me, it's like, well, there's we've had many discussions. There's polygamy, is polyandry, and then there is the third one. It's polygamy, polygyny. It's polygamy, polygyny, and polyandry. Now, one is where I've seen where women have attempted to have more than one husband. Right. The impossibility of that is because women are physiologically and psychologically not created for that. Right. And it doesn't have to do with basically their whole mental makeup. No, it is the way that they are built. A man can populate and get 10 women pregnant, have 10 babies within a year, but he's not a rooster. A rooster can get 100. I mean, they'll tire you out. And then you got to deal with those different personalities. Yeah. Then also at the same time, a woman's cycle is every 28 days. So she has to have downtime to rejuvenate and reclaim herself. At the same time, every human being's body rejuvenates every 7 years, like a credit report. So then you bringing people in and out of that relationship, in and out of your circle, it's going to be tiresome and it's going to cause a lot of problems, especially when you have the magic word involved, children. And when you have that one, and Allah says in the Quran, marry 2, 3, or 4. So before I could even get to that, I remember a woman had brought that debate to me, and she said, well, it says also, if you cannot handle that, then marry only one.
Right.
That's not what that meant. That meant that if this person could not find somebody and he had the wealth and the ability, then he was allowed to take on a slave girl. That means he freed a slave girl. Slavery existed and it still exists to me today. And if he was not able to marry 2 or 3 or 4 of women of quality, that's the magic word, quality, then take a slave girl, right? Like, I mean, who would want your lineage? Who wants your family line to come from a slave? From a slave girl. So if you can't do that, Allah allowed it to manumit or free one and then just marry that one. It didn't mean a singular case. It meant that particular case where you could not afford somebody, right? Because there's 4 things that you can marry for in this society, in this world. Number 1, what do we all chase? Beauty. Those reels, that stuff that we see on there is blowing our mind. It's messing men's minds up.
I know it.
That is, I see a 10 maybe once every few weeks.
But you know, you
in real life,
is it even real though? Because like on this social media, you know, you got all these things you can adjust and fix and all this makeup and all this.
Think about what you got to do with a 10. Like I said, the reason why it's a competitive sport, when you get a 10, you get a dime, you're going to trips. You're going to Vegas, Dubai, Miami,
Puerto Rico.
Nah, she from Puerto Rico. She don't want to go back to Puerto Rico. And then on top of that, she's going to want clothes. You want to keep her nice. You want to keep her soft. You don't want her to lift her finger. Right. So just stick with an 8 or 9.
No,
8 or 9.
So I think,
and make her believe she's 11.
You stupid. But I think I think it's definitely personal preference, because I could look at a woman who you think is above and beyond, and I'd be like, oh yeah, she average.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like definitely beauty is in the beholder, and I think that's how men hold women, not only like physically but emotionally too, right? Because you could be dating a woman and she could be everything you want, right? But if she's not as emotional connected to you as the other one who just drive you crazy,
yes,
it don't matter what she do,
right? Because
she got that hold on you. And it's just, that's why I say, man, we gotta make sure that the energy we receiving is the energy we putting out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You need that.
I seen that. I said you watch the same reel I watched earlier. Because that's that scale. When I hear people using that one, he said, I hear people say on a scale of 1 to 10 without using this number. No, that's for you. Yeah, that's your measurement. Yeah. That's not her measurement. No, because you got to realize that 8 is really a symbol for infinity. I want that 8 to be all that and then some to me, right? And I want her energy, because on that scale, the one thing that I've rarely had as a young man, now as a mature man, is the magic, the X word, exclusivity. Exclusivity is more important. Like, I don't care if she has other men, but if I know that she's giving me something when I come out of the streets and I've been busting my behind and fighting every day, and she gives me that special time that I need, right.
So let me get back. Let me get an understanding of what you just said, because it like because you just now said if she's giving you what you need, you don't care what if she got other men.
Right, they don't exist.
He's not saying him in particular. He's just saying
I'm just saying in general. Sure. In general, mm-hmm. I think if the woman or the man is giving you what you need, you are very concerned about whether they're giving that energy to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you'd be concerned about it, because
no, you're definitely concerned about it.
You think so?
You're definitely concerned. There's no way. Like, I don't care how much time she giving you, and it may sound good. If you know there are other men in the picture, you're gonna feel away naturally. Like,
some men don't care.
I mean,
I'm telling you, some men do not care. They just want you for the.
But let's be real. Most of those who do not care, because they're giving their energy somewhere else as well.
Exactly.
But if we base it upon what you said, Brian, where you want them to feel the same energy you putting out, you want them to feel the same energy. Right. So if that's the case, and then if that's the case, you do care and worry about whether they with somebody else.
My thing is, if y'all enjoying each other's energy so much, why do we have other people?
Because those two entities are not actually physical entities when you're dealing with the so-called modern woman. Number one, her career. When y'all put your career first, and then y'all put your children first, and then don't add family, friend, Pookie, Ray, whatever, and then you come in the 4th slot. I don't come off the bench for nobody. No one. ever.
But that's what you just said.
No. I didn't know.
He was using himself as an example. He wasn't saying him. I hope he wouldn't go for that.
No.
You know, I'm not going for it.
The clarify. So let me clarify.
What I'm saying now, I'm speaking when I speak. I mean, based upon what he said, I'm talking in general as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't, as a man. I just can't see that I'm giving this woman my energy, and I don't care whether she sees somebody. If I don't care,
you don't really like her. If you don't
right.
care about the
If
energy
I don't
she's
care,
giving her. You don't really like her.
If I don't care, if she giving her energy to somebody else. I really ain't into it like
You're
that.
not. Whatever you doing.
You really not.
It's easier to get another dude out her. My father taught me that. He said, "Listen, man, she can push out a whole human being out between her legs, a whole 8-pound watermelon. You get her mind first. You get her mind and her emotions. Everything else don't matter. You can have the body easy because it's easier to get rid of another male entity, another person, than it is for her to sacrifice her career, sacrifice her kids. Those are monoliths.
I go with the energy Brian put out there in the beginning. Brandon. Excuse me, Brandon. I go with the energy that Brandon and what Dominique saying as a woman. If you sit back and I'm giving you my energy,
right,
and I want to receive that same energy back, you know what you guys are saying.
Oh, this
definitely don't make sense.
That don't make sense
because
guess what? Woman.
Even if she has a career, even if she has a career, what you're saying is that woman that puts her career before you, her children before you, and all this other stuff before you, she really ain't got that energy she giving you.
I'm gonna give it to you, Brent. Right, here you go. Been in this situation. Went through a breakup and I wanted her back. First time I've ever did that. I'm serious. I almost quasi stalked her. Now I knew, number one, dude was asking questions about me because that's what men do. They ask. First mistake is men ask about the previous relationship. Don't ask about that dude. Right? You are the undisputed champion of the earth when you stepping in the ring. Right? I don't care if you know you're not gonna lose.
But I think it's a little.
Here you go. So the next part was you gotta realize you step into the octagon with this woman when it comes to relationship.
Right.
The other dudes don't matter. So what happened was he was trying to compete with somebody that wasn't even in the room. I mean, I'm that bad. You know what I'm saying? Straight Shogun. I'm sitting there like, so he was asking this, asking this. I'm serious. I'm giving you a relationship issue.
Well, please, because you getting ready to make me go there again because you using the UFC and all this, and you keep using that terminology. I don't worry about the other guy, but you just said you was kind of getting ready to stalk her. That means you were worried about the other guy.
Because I wasn't getting her time.
So that means you were worried about the other guy.
No, I wasn't.
Right.
No, I wasn't. No.
Come on, Mustafa. Listen to what you're saying. If you're stalking somebody,
rookie. Let's put the rookie to the side, Brand. You know what I'm saying? That's rookie. So
I'm far from a rookie. Trust me, I'm far from a rookie.
No, what I'm saying though, when I realized the most important thing to me was in exclusivity is that she gives me something special that I can't get from somebody else. Other dudes don't really even matter. They know that they can't compete.
I think what he's talking about is like
there's no competition.
I feel like everybody been in that space where like you've dealt with a person and you sit back and you're like, I can't believe I put myself through that.
Oh yeah, I
for sure. And I think that's what he's hitting at because
I don't think that's what he's hitting at because when you say I'm not worried about the other dude, that means that you know there's other dudes involved. I'm saying as a man, our ego won't even let that happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm definitely worried about the other dude, especially depending on how
and you're not gonna let no woman play you like that.
Nah, for sure not.
See now, I'm starting to twist,
but only because I'm older. Like I'm older. I'm not. I know I'm probably not as right, but I'm older in my life, and I just don't.
Well, let's say so. What you're saying is not about age; it's about maturity and mental capacity of the mind. Because of what you've been through in life, your mindset now has grown. So we talking about that. You know, so we all have an understanding. We getting to the point that this open relationship stuff really don't work.
It's really not. It's a no. I mean, maybe it works for some people, but honestly, it's a no. I don't want to share.
What if I want you here right now, and you can't be here with me right now?
So you gotta get another person?
No. What I'm saying is, what if I want my person here right now, right? But we got an open relationship, and she decided that she might want to be with somebody else right now.
And how's that gonna make you feel, though?
What? I need to check my bank account to make sure I got enough to burn that.
You see what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Because let's face the reality. We as men, especially dealing with another man, it's like an alpha gorilla. You know, he the alpha gorilla, and there's other female gorillas running around, but he's sitting there on a perch with his chest stuck out, right? And if anybody touch one of those women, it's a problem. And that's the same way we are as men with their ego. If Dominique is my woman, and like you said, the energy, we giving each other energy, then I find out, okay, she giving this joker the same energy she giving me. That's a problem.
For sure.
That's a problem. And,
right.
and
when
you use that terminology, I don't care whether it's nobody else. See, that's what throw me off.
Okay, so basically, if specifically, when you went through if you've ever been to a relationship, you went to a breakup, makeup, and one of my friends said that once you break up with them and they get with another dude, right, I'm out. I was like, nah, you lying to yourself. Because at the same time, I've been in situations where I wanted this person back, and they ended up asking a whole lot of questions or whatever, and they realized this is a woman of quality. They have a career, they have businesses, whatever, they're attractive, and the guy starts to see that, he's losing altitude, right? He can't keep up, and then he ends up, I see a lot of dudes end up going back, and I just waited in the cut, just waited in the shadows, and they end up going back to their ex-girlfriend because they could not compete with that level of woman. That's an 8 or a 9. You need to go back down to the 3s and 4s, my man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men, what they do, what I discovered in secret, my parents were together for 51 years. That means that my mother allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. He was able to go anywhere he wanted to go. There was never a hint of infidelity. It was never a hint.
So that's trust. She had seriously trusting him.
That's the magic word, because the other part was, when it comes to trust and fidelity, they were together because they made a bond, and I say this over and over again every single podcast. They made a bond where they was together for survival. I mean, my dad's from the projects in New York. My mom was from a farm in Alabama, right? They wanted to have a certain quality of life. They wanted to be with a certain type of person, and they chose each other. She said that this morning. Right?
So they love for money.
No,
no
quality.
Right. Well, I was just asking.
Back in the day, but you understand, a part of that is the fact that, like, I'm watching this series now. What does not exist in today's society is trust, fidelity, honor. Honor is bigger than me, because I put that up there with exclusivity. What you will do for me, yes. And my father said that in the car. He said, what's the difference between my generation and your generation is doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
For sure.
There was no way that he would do certain stuff. That gives you
gratification, though. For me it does. Like, I take gratification in that, because I be like, boy, 10 years ago, boy.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different story. But that goes to that maturity level.
For sure.
So Dominique, let's ask you this, right? We heard the guys speak a lot, you know what I mean? So give us your version of how you see it from a female standpoint.
As far as
what they was talking about, the other guy really doesn't matter, and the energy.
Listen, I don't know nothing about none of that, because I know if I'm talking to a guy or whoever, you know how I do, whoever I'm speaking with, I am very much concerned. And I feel like you're not really that interested in me if you can go a long amount of time without talking to me, or you're not giving me that kind of energy. What exactly are we doing here? Mm-hmm. So, like, what they're saying doesn't make sense to me. Right?
To me, because y'all do it first. Y'all do it first. The first thing that women do is, with y'all short attention spans, if I'm not in your face every day, we like this. Man, what are we doing? Right?
But if we really like you, it don't matter. You don't have to be in our face every day. But we got to really like you to be like, oh, okay. They're not saying we can't give you space, because we can. Nah.
What's that giving space?
I just think when it comes to...
I feel like when people actually like each other, like, there's a healthy balance. It's a healthy balance.
Exactly.
This is what I want to do. This is what you want to do. And if if I'm not really feeling it, then you gonna know I'm not feeling it because I'm probably gonna be entertaining somebody else. But I don't really feel like it's a situation where
I think the two strongest things that hold any good bond or any relationship together is respect and honesty.
But where does that come from? Where does that come from, though? What I said at my father's funeral, the reason why they was together for so long, even when he was on trips, I'm saying if it was 27 years ago, me and my father would be in Baltimore right now at that records. You know what he'd be doing? Baby, I'll be on the phone, right? I'm at work right now. They communicated. The problem with these females today, y'all do not know how to communicate to y'all man. Period, point blank. When I'm in a relationship, you better learn how to talk to me, right? If you don't, I'm out, right? And all that texting and DM and all that whatever, men and women do not talk to each other anymore. Families do not sit at the table and talk about their day over dinner, right? People don't call their grandparents. They don't know how to talk. They talk at their children. They don't talk with their children. The problem is communication.
I mean, yes, communication is an issue. However, though, a lot of the times women don't know how to talk to men because men don't know how to talk, nor do they understand half of the time.
So you said men don't know how to listen.
What you mean by they don't know how to talk?
They don't know how to talk. It's like, okay, if I'm coming to you with how I feel, I'm explaining to you, you don't got nothing to say. What are we doing? Like, what? Say something.
What you mean you don't have anything to say? Give me
if I'm giving you, so if I'm coming to you and I'm like, hey, you know, yesterday when we was at your mama house, you made me feel away. You know, when you did XYZ, this is how I felt. Okay. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, okay, what? Like, are you going to say something? Like, nothing. You're not going to. So you're not going to take in my emotions.
I made you feel like what? You need them to ask that.
Right. Like, I want you to understand.
I think she just want to have a conversation about it so she can make sure that
you understand going forward. Right. But that's the thing.
Easy. Because, so our job is men.
Guys don't listen. They want to fix everything, but it's like, okay, but do you want to know like why we're even having this conversation? Like, or you just trying to hurry up and fix it so you don't got to be bothered with it? Like, that is the issue.
That's what men do.
But
that's the problem.
Like I say always, I think society as a whole depicts us against each other. It puts us against each other because women feel one way emotionally. Men feel another way emotionally. So it's just like I say, if you take a group of women and put them in a salon and they start giving their stories about their men on the men they deal with, most of the women then go, girl, you right, I understand this and that. And then you take that same climate and put it in a barbershop with men and they start talking this and that and the other. You know, we're going to be against them, they're going to be against us. So how do we get to the point that we can get to some kind of understanding? Because that to me, that's one of the biggest problems because we fight amongst each other. Right.
What I mean, I will say this, right? And I wrote this on John Lewis's memorial. And one thing that I figured that we've lost, and I'm emphatic about it, is we don't have a value system, right? When I need to start talking. When I talk with younger men, right, or men of my own ilk, contemporary, I'm listening because as the way I do business and the way I extend it, I'm like, let me ask you a question real quick, right? As the standard bearer and the value, like I said on that 1 to 10, what is important to you? What are you looking for? And they do this. Conversation over. I was like, okay, listen, let me explain something to you, all right? And if you don't value that woman, you're not going to communicate with her. You're not going to spend time with her.
Why are you wasting that time?
Exactly. Women's time is exactly women's. And I say this: women's time is, and I say this to all young men between 16 to 27 is her sexual evaluation window. Right, and between that time is when she's at her peak. And if she does not become a wife or a mother, then what you doing? You playing with her. Right, and her time is more valuable than men. And I see these podcasts and these pundits, and they tell these women that your value goes down. That's not true. That's not true. There's a caveat in there because
it probably should go up.
No, if her beauty, if her beauty fades, she still has the other qualities that outshine. Instead, when you're young, she's your sun. She's your sun, move earth and star. But when you get older, she's still in the periphery of your life. But she's the moon that illuminates everything. Even your darkest time, your mother is your moon. But a lot of women do not want that quality. They don't know how to acquire that quality because they don't know their origins. Because you can marry for beauty, you can marry for honor and lineage, right? You can marry for wealth. But that fourth one is purity in religion.
You know what? Let me say this. Let me say
marry
this.
a woman.
You know what? Let me say this.
Sounds like some arranged marriage.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. Hold. Let me say this. And saying all, I said it and I listened to a lot what you say, and a lot of has a lot of value, right? Mm-hmm. All right. But what I want to say is this, and I'm putting this out there, and I'm a man. I'm a man's man. I'm that alpha man. A lot of that stuff that you said here and put upon women, we as men supposed to be the head and lead, and we don't.
We're not.
We don't.
Absolutely no.
So what I'm saying is, I think, okay, like me, and you're almost in the same situation. You're raising 2 daughters. I raised 2 daughters before I had my son, right? I had to teach my daughters how to be a woman because, if I didn't sit back and teach them the things that men do, the cons men run, I'm teaching them to have respect for themselves. I'm teaching them, well, we're going to have a date night. You know what I mean? I take and I date them. But when I date them, it's not always about me paying. Okay, we're going on a date, you pay. You know what I mean? I'm trying to add that balance. So when we speak upon these women, we have to take accountability as men as well. Mm-hmm. I just really think we do, especially like raising these young girls. Because guess what? The twerking, the revealing your whole body and stuff like that. If we don't feed into that nonsense, they're gonna change to something else. It's just like if women don't feed into this pants sagging and the tough guy and the nappy, we gonna stop. Especially men, we gonna stop doing it.
Right.
You know, if all the women get together and say, "Man, we ain't messing with no joker got his pants sagging," we're gonna pull our pants up. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But we have, like I said, we got a certain, responsibility to each other, especially as a man raising a daughter. You know what I mean? Because we got women now raising so-called men, right? But when you look at it from a spiritual standpoint, whether you Christian, whether you Muslim, I don't care what you are, it's held as a responsibility for man to guide, and we not guiding.
Because I think what it is with the reason why some men aren't guiding us because
they don't know how to.
For sure, men were giving great examples in the last generation, right? So when I think about like the generation that came before mine, like it was just different. Like I never really as growing up. So I was born in '84. But around like the middle to the end of the '80s, we weren't around people who didn't have 2-parent homes. And then as the '90s came, that's when you seeing like a single mom with like 5-6 kids. So I feel like we just ain't have great examples, and we were separated. Like they destroyed the black family because that was one of the strongest things from the 60s, 70s. Because you had, not saying that we can't get it back, it's just that
it's gonna take a lot of work.
Right. And also, so I feel like they also manipulated it well. They gave black women more, not opportunity, but they figured if we allow black women to get into a position where they make more than men, there could be another way to distract them, as in, hey, I don't need a man. I can do this by myself. And so, not saying that they can't, right? Because they can. I know a lot of women that do it. But it just takes away that femininity that women just have as wanting to be led by a man. Right. So I just feel like when we talk about how men's supposed to act, we don't have good role models.
Right. And that may be true. So when you sit back and we discovered, for the most part, humanistically is not, this open relationship thing just don't work. No, it don't work. So we want, hey, all y'all that's out there that's trying to do it.
It's a no.
It's a no. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, because like my man said, you want somebody to give you back the same energy you're giving them. You know what I mean? You want to try to add a balance to things, and you know, you want somebody to love you like you love them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
Yes.
Hey, so I got this thing called innocence of love, right? So it's a belief that I have. So the reason why I said it and shit, like I've spoken to her about it, is because like when you're in a relationship and it first starts like a honeymoon phase, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I believe that phase is because usually we're the most honest in the beginning, and it's some, but it's like more natural, and you don't want to. For me, I don't want to give her no reason to
not like you,
not like me, but feel some type of way about me.
Right.
Like when she see me, I want her to face the bright up, because she can only think of happy things. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you cheat or when you are disloyal in some way, or you lie about something that's
you
great
giving
to
your
her,
energy to somebody else.
for sure. So then, like, it's like this when you get that all that old shit. But like I'm telling you, because women do it. But like when you haven't given her a reason to take away that innocence of love, like, because women naturally want that Cinderella story. They want to be bubbly in love. They want to just, you know,
be there head at night and shining on.
Right. And so, but when you show them that chink, they like, oh, this nigga, I thought that was platinum. That shit's steel. This nigga ain't got no platinum on.
Well, let's do this. Let's go around the round table and get ready to close out this, and let's everybody have their last word about their outlook and how they feel about open relationships. And we're going to start with you, Mustafa, make it brief, and, you know, about the open relationship.
Never works. It like I said before, it's a competitive sport, and you know, if you want to play those mind games and think that you're built like that, you know, let me tell you something. You're inviting a lot of danger, physically, mentally, and so you can even destroy your own career with these open relationships. You know, and it's a no for me. You know,
and Dominique,
I still keep a roster though.
Yeah, no, it's a solid no for me. It's a strong no. I don't have the capacity to juggle. I mean, I think it's fun. Hey, you gonna wash my car today? Hey, you taking me to eat tonight? Oh, that's great. But yeah, no, I'm really for like full on commitment. I want my person. I want us to figure out life together. I don't want no extras.
And Brandon, go ahead.
For me, it would never work, and I want to make sure that I have my person and just be in a monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's the way that life was created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed it, actually. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that I got one person and we just fully commit and we get as much love and time together as we can on this earth. Because, you know, we only here for
short time.
On borrowed time.
Sure.
Right. So I'm trying to make sure I can get out of. That's why I make sure I love on and do what I need to do with my girl every day, all day.
Well, for me, it's a no.
We know.
It's a no with me. I mean, from all aspects of, you know, being open and sharing and all that. That's not going to work. But I want to say that I appreciate what you said about the energy, because, yeah, giving the same energy you want back. But, you know, with me in life, you got your highs, lows, in betweens. But even in the midst of the highs, lows, in between, I still want my woman to know, hey, I'm here for you. You know, in the midst of the high, because we're not going to have a perfect life. We're not always going to be on the up. We're always not going to be on the down. But still, you know, even in those bad times, you know, that joker is crazy, but that joker here for me. You know what I mean?
Safe space. I could.
You know, like you say, like when the FBI take you to a safe house, you know what I mean? Like, I know he gonna take me to that safe house. I know he gonna protect me. So we want to just say, for the most part, the panel say no, but you guys out there that want to try it, I think you're gonna get into our no category. So we just want to say we just appreciate you people listening to People Think About It. You can hear us every Wednesday. Our new episode at 8:00 on Wednesdays. You go to peoplethinkaboutit.com. You can reach out to us at peoplethinkaboutit@gmail.com. So we just want to strongly say to you guys, please start listening every Wednesday. Subscribe to us. And we just want to thank you for listening.
You have been listening to People
Think About It.
Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends so that you never miss an episode. A new episode drops every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to People Think About It.